guys, welcome back to the Lycan Project with Heather, me. I have Wifey and the dog here as well because it's a family situation. So I'm just going to do my 2019 bookish wrap up, go through my Goodreads and my stats and everything. So let's get down to business. So basic numbers. I'll start with my the Goodreads year in books. So in 2019, I read 79 books. So I always have a laptop. I read 79 books, which was across 22,068 pages, which was good because that means I hit my goal of reading 20,000 pages over the course of the year. My shortest book was a novella by Patrick Ness called The New World at 25 pages. And my longest book was The Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare at 893 pages, which gave me an average page length of 279 pages. And my most popular book I read, that everyone else in the world with 1.2 million other people reading it, was Frankenstein. My least favourite book was one of those choose your own adventure books, and it was Athena, so it's I, Hero, Legends, with only 5 other people reading that book, which I don't blame them because it was a really crap book. I didn't enjoy it. I gave it 1 star. My average rating was 3.8, and this is all on my Goodreads booking thing, which if you've got the app, you just go 2019 year books. The highest rated book I had on Goodreads was J. Christoph's God's Grave, which has an average rating of 4.57. So yeah, so I had a good year. And then we'll move on to the end of year survey. So the best books of the year. Oh, best books of the year. I had a, like, I wouldn't say mediocre, but like I read books and I enjoyed them, but there's not a huge, big standout but apparently I gave 16 books 5 stars. But I don't remember a lot of them, like none of them stand out. So I think one of the favourites I had this year was a graphic novel called Through the Woods by Emily Carroll, which is a group of web comics of different stories, but they're like stories that kind of interweave through everyone. And I know I gave this 5 stars, and it's one that stands out to me. The most surprising book I read was I'm Not That Bad by Roxane Gay. I also did that as an audiobook, so it's a collection of essays about sexism and rape culture and stuff, which I think with the Me Too and Time's Up movement was a very pertinent read for the social climate that we were going through. So that was really good. I do recommend getting the audiobook for that one because each author of the essay actually reads it in the audiobook. So the right inflections are given at the right times. The best series of 2019. Okay. So the best series I started this year would be The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I read the first 3 and the novella, so I've read The Bone Season, The Mime Order, and The Song Rising, plus The Pale Dreamer. So the only thing that's out from that series that I haven't yet read is On the Merits of Unnaturalness, which is a pamphlet that is talked about a lot in the book, that literally goes through the orders of clairvoyance within it, so I will be getting to that. The best sequel I read this year would actually have to be Carrie Maniscalco's Hunting Prince Dracula, which is a historical crime thriller mashup where we follow a young lady called Audrey Rose. That in the first book, Stalking Jack the Ripper, she is learning about forensics from her uncle, and in the second book she goes to Romania with a companion that she has made in the first book to a forensic school, and then I wouldn't say mischief, crime and horror and intrigue follow them to that, and there's a lot of twists and turns and misdirection, which is I quite enjoyed. The best new authors I've discovered would actually have to be Samantha Shannon. I really like her writing. I also did read Priory of the Orange Tree, which is her adult standalone fantasy that has queer elements in it about dragons. So this is the second biggest book I read this year, so hefty books. So yeah, that was a good one. The best book in a genre I don't typically read. I watch a lot of crime TV shows like Grimm and Lucifer and Criminal Minds. Like, I really enjoy TV shows, but it wasn't until 2019 that I kind of dove into crime thrillers in terms of books. So I will say that I did quite enjoy the Stalking Jack the Ripper, because I did Hunting Prince Dracula, and I also did Escaping from Houdini, which is the third one in the series this year, in 2019, sorry. So they are both very good. I also did a self-published Australian author of Dear Captor by Liz Lovelock, which is the first installment in her Letters of Blood, which it then goes with Love and Forever Yours, but she is releasing it, I believe, this year or late in 2019. Sorry, in late 2019 of A Bind Up Vol 3. So if I can find that, I will put that down below. What else? But most action-packed, thrilling, unputdownable book. This one. Basically, now I think about it, this is the standout of my year. I smashed through this. It was really quite a intense, thrilling, driven book I found that I really enjoyed. It is also a book that I will go back to and I will reread. A book I would reread. A book I did reread was Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire, which I can't seem to find right now. So realistically, anything in the Wayward Children series, so these are two of those books. I haven't actually read these two, which is In an Absent Dream and Beneath the Sugar Sky, but anything in this series I will sit down and reread. I did finish the second one, and I also did in 2019 reread this first one. I also did I started to try to dive into science fiction and realised that I do read it a bit more often. My favourite covers of the year. I picked up both the Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows collector's edition, so they are just stunning sprayed edges, beautifully foiled covers, hardbacks. So Crooked Kingdom is just a black with a gold, and this is Six of Crows, so they're just beautiful covers. I also really do like In an Absent Dream by Shauna Maguire. It's just a beautiful, eerie sort of tree with a doorway through it. So generally, I really love this cover. I've also tried to stop doing if the cover looks good, I'll pick the book up, because I'm doing that a lot and I shouldn't. Most memorable characters of the year. I I don't really have any, which is kind of sad. So as I said, this year has been a good year. Like I've had a good, like a better than average reading year, but not a huge, like a standout reading year. My most thought-provoking / changing book of 2019 is Not That Bad, again by Roxane Gay, which is Dispatches from Ripe Culture. It just gave me pause to think. It also was, I think, with all the recent events that are happening, it's actually encouraging to see people actually standing up, using their voices to go forward with that. Books that shocked me the most due to events. I will say God's Grave was a bit of a shocking read for me. There wasn't a huge lot of like dun 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 moments for me this year, which is odd. My favourite OTPs, it's actually just been a re-establishment of OTPs I already liked, such as Rhysand and Feyre, Malik, so Alexander Lightwood and Magnus Bane from the Shadowhunter Chronicles. So I haven't really added any OTPs that I can think of. One of my favourite, Azriel and Cassian are my non-romantic relationship. I generally love the brotherhood and the love that's shown between them, as well as Blitzen and Hearthstone from Magnus Chase. An elf and a dwarf. I would love for them to be canon, but I also think I need to not just want to pair everyone up. So this is also a beautiful friendship where they are willing to just die for each other and go through unmentionable emotional distress for it. Favourite book of an author that I've read previously. Ooh, let me have a look. Author I previously read. Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I know is one by Shauna Maguire. How do I sort this? All my 5 stars are on the top. Yes, I have to say it is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire, which would have been my favourite book from an author I previously read. A book that I read solely because of the hype. Actually, I have added a lot of books to my TBR for the hype, but admittedly I don't think I read any books solely because of the hype. Best 2019 debut that I read. I'm going to check what the Goodreads says that these are, because I actually don't know if I read any. I know I've got some on my list of things I want to read by debuts. So other statistics. I set myself a goal of reading bigger books. I read 6 books that were tomes and larger. So that wasn't great. I will put it here. The breakdown of my reading also was 24% print, 32% were ebooks, and 44% were audiobooks. I also did I want to, in 2020, now knowing my numbers, I want to sway it a bit more evenly, because I only read 8% of the books I read were non-fiction, which I'm sorry, but I think that's a bit sad, being an adult. So debut authors, 2019 debuts, I don't think I read any. I also have only a 70 to 30% split between male and female authors. So I do want to work on getting that to be a bit more parity. I would like for that to sit at probably a 60-40 split. So if you have any male authors that you genuinely love and think are really good, please let me know. I currently like Jay Kristoff. I like Patrick Ness. I got into Patrick Ness and Neil Gaiman this year. I have a lot of 2019 debut authors that I'm going to read this year in 2020. Other interesting statistics to look at. Apparently I got a lot of my books from the library, which is odd. Need to work on that. I did 2 rereads this year, which should be 3. I reread 3 books. I read Every Heart a Doorway, The Art of Racing in the Rain, and Frankenstein. I know I reread 3 books. My biggest genre that I read at 41% was fiction, and then I jump up to general contemporary. Horror was my second largest at 18, and then general / contemporary fiction is 16%. But I'm quite interested in 2020 because I'm doing statistics. I'm going to be a lot more harsh about where I put them rather than going with Goodreads characterization. I'm actually going to try and see where the library categorizes them. I'm also splitting science fiction and fantasy because I generally want to know where those numbers split and such. My largest book, the most common size book I read is 200 to 300 pages, which is, I believe, what I should have done. No. So last year I had in 2019 I was aiming for 20,000 pages over 60 books, which should have put me at 334 pages a book. And this year I think I've done the same numbers of 75 books over 225,000 pages. Yeah, so I've upped my books and upped my pages, but it's still the same size book. So but then I have 18% on the 100 to 200 and the 300 to 400 page range. And so, but I only had 6 books out of 79, which is, what's that, 6 divided by 7. So only 7.5% of my books were tomes, which, I'm sorry, for me is not good enough. I do have a book, I do have a video up on my channel which is 10 tomes I want to tackle in 2020, so I will link that down below. If you feel really strongly about any of those, let me know and I will prioritize them, so at least I am aiming to read 10 books, which is 4 more than last year. So yeah, that's it. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing about your stats and your reading goals for the year. I'll also link my reading goals down below as well. So thank you, and use your voice to create a positive change in the world. And thank you, and